There we go. So like after logging in, you'll be presented with this screen. Um, please select the available icons in order to learn more. Something along those lines. Whatever is going to make the most sense for the content. What are you not liking, Pia?
But they don't need to log in. They're already logged in. So it's just, we're just looking. They have to be logged in to see that screen that you have up.
Okay.
That image.
Yeah. So like the text is definitely going to be different from whatever you need.
Yeah.
So when you're telling them to kind of click around in the screen and select the different things, you have a couple different options. You can either guide them or you can give them more or less a free-for-all. Would you rather that they know that they need to click on something before you start doing it?
Well, I need to explain what's on the. I would need to explain first, I think, what is on the top row. Then I have to explain icons first.
The tabs?
They need to see 5 tabs, or they need to send an email that there's a problem.
Okay.
So whatever you want to do first, it doesn't matter. It all has to be explained.
So you can do a little piece of information. Please note there should be 5 tabs
Folders.
available. I can't spell.
Yeah, that's called folders or tabs. I don't know. I think they're called folders in Cognos, but it doesn't matter. I know what you mean.
Okay. That there should be 5 tabs available. If you do not see the ones shown on the screen, please contact people at email.com.
Yeah, there you go.
And typically, if you have like a side note or something, you might want to choose to either change the font color or the font style, and you might even want to consistently use some type of icon as well. So I'll just show you what I would typically do, which is to go ahead and italicize this, and then I'd use something along the lines of the color palette that we have going on. But maybe adjust it slightly so it's like a deeper blue or something. I hate that it does that. A deeper blue or really? I don't know why you're giving me problems. A deeper blue. I didn't want that. I didn't want that. Why are you highlighting it? I'm not asking you to highlight. I'm asking.
That's fine. I got the hint.
Yeah.
Oh, I liked it better in white, but okay.
I don't know what it's doing. It's being goofy. Let's just try. There. Go back to the way it was before. But as long as you pick something and you just maintain some consistency in your course, you can include these like side or developer notes or system configuration notes. As far as like an icon goes, there's stock buttons that have like the eye icon and the question mark in the stock button category list. So for example, if we're providing them with a little bit of information, where is my little eye?
You passed it.
Did I?
Oh, that's it. You had one in the other thing.
Did I go scroll too fast?
Mm-hmm.
Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Well, you had an eye. It was there. I think it's too far up.
That's all right. Question mark is fine.
No, you had an eye down there, though. I mean, there really was an eye. Okay.
Something along those lines. So if you need to start explaining what the difference between public folders, my folders, and all that stuff goes, instead of breaking it out into 5 individual pages, one of the options that you have is to make this a clickable interactive page. And
Yeah, let's do that.
okay, so you can do some type of button system where they need to select each one in order to kind of continue. So for example, if you wanted to, you could use real buttons and place them on top of each one if you wanted to, or you could do something like a transparent button, place it over the object, and then that would make it clickable to that at that area or level. I'd probably recommend at least adding a border to it so that that it can be seen and you're not making them just click all over the screenshot. So this button is going to be called public folders. The best thing to do is to just knock everything out first and then come back and do the development afterwards because you're going to need it anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and take public folders, copy it, and change it into my folders. You can then sit there and grab the button and scooch it over. And then repeat the same process again, except for this time it's going to be the ADSL button. This is where it's going to be a little bit of a tedious work process, but copying and pasting and reusing as much content as possible is going to help out in the long run. I'm going to call...
Yeah, this is kind of more like a template. This could be one of the templates.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
you can do the same thing with the buttons over here as well. This is key. And then this one would be IG supporting. Whatever naming convention you're most comfortable with, you're going to definitely want to be able to distinguish in between each one. So you're making sure that that you can actively tell which one is which when you're looking at it in your Title Explorer. And of course, I'd be paying attention more to the location and, you know, is it lining up correctly and whatnot. If we're just going over the tabs, I might even suggest cutting this and getting rid of this other half, just so that we have more of a clear screenshot. If they need to know, you know, what the whole entire interface looks like, I definitely understand it. But the more drilled down that you can get, the clearer view that they're going to have, and it's going to be easier for you to kind of explain things. So now
well, they need to see a whole shot, and then I could just show the left side and the right side.
Yeah. Yep.
But they're gonna. I mean, there's stuff on that whole page, on 10 of it, that I have to go through each thing on there.
Right. Yeah. So I'd probably try and lump it into certain categories. You can even do at one of the companies that I worked for. One of the people that liked to develop, he got a not microscope, a magnifying glass icon. And so what you would do is you'd be presented with the original screenshot, and then it would say select the magnifying glass to look more closely at the system. And what it would do is it would swap it out for a larger screenshot. So you're kind of like zooming in, and it forced you to focus on where you were in the larger picture. So you were still always seeing what the whole interface looked like, but you were drilling down whenever necessary.
Can we do that?
Yeah. The magnifying glass is going to be a little bit difficult for me to grab off the fly. Let me see. I don't have any free resources available to me, so I'm just going to have to kind of roll with whatever I can get.
Let's see, where did I see magnifying glass at?
There might be one in this.
Yeah.
There might be one.
There should be under that.
In the media library.
Ooh.
Magnify. No, being animals, businesses, computers, containers, electronics, food, geography, office.
I'm sure glad I have my glasses on, because a little bit of weight, it doesn't look like geography. That's funny.
There's this one.
Oh, there's a magnifying glass, yeah.
So you could put.
So there is one in there.
So you could put it over here, and I would need a second version of this image. So you can either do like a copy paste and then say this is the magnified.
What do you mean another version? You mean another page or?
Another version of the image. If we're going to drill in, we can go ahead and make this one even bigger so they can see it better. So, for example, if they got your, hold on, I need to make sure I'm explaining. So when they get on the screen, we're going to first tell them that they need to please select the magnifying glass. To view more information on the tabs. So that would mean.
Well, it'd be on the whole screen, wouldn't it be? Anywhere on the screen. Because aren't we going to use it for anywhere on the screen?
What do you mean?
Well, they should be able to take that magnifying glass, and maybe we need to magnify it for them. Magnify the folders first and bring it up.
Yep, that's.
And let them see it. And then when they've done that, and if we let them click on it or whatever, I don't think we want to do that right away. Let them click on it, but just show them the folders and tell them that if they don't see all 5 folders, they need to do something. And then take the magnifying glass and show it on the Cognos bar. That's that top purple bar, and magnify the far right end of it.
Oh, okay, I get what you
mean. And then take them through what each one of those things do up there, because each one of those creates another screen. It creates more information I have to give.
Right.
And if we go into a folder, then there's more stuff on that folder I got to talk about. So it's best to be on public folders when we start. Oh, you're fine there on my folders. It doesn't matter. But the first thing I have to do is explain, do they have all 5 folders?
Okay.
If they don't, then I tell them to do something. Then I want to magnify everything to the right on the IBM and take them through that. And then when we're done, I want to magnify that row underneath it and take them through that.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're gonna definitely need to lump everything out into different categories. So if we focus on the tabs for the time being, we should be able to recreate it for the other items on the screen. So I'm going to go through, and I don't want any of my buttons to be showing up right away, and I don't want my secondary screen to show up either, and I can tell the system to go ahead and hide those initially. If I'm going to want everything to show up at the same time, the best thing to do is to go ahead and do the grouping feature. So I'm going to, did I grab that one on accident? Yeah, I did. So I'm going to go ahead and you can do a multi-select using the control key. And I'm going to group these, and this is going to be, step 2 of the process, because the first step is going to be to select the magnifying glass. So then I can tell the system, if they click on the magnifying glass, go ahead and show step 2 and hide my original image. So we're dropping into this particular area. Easiest way to do that is going to be with actions. So on mouse click, I'm going to have them show my group that I just created, which is step 2. And then I would need to hide anything that was there originally, which is going to be my my snag 1, my first image. So if we go ahead and run this right now, oh, hold on, my layering is off. That's definitely something we need to keep into consideration. Magnifying snag is going to need to go all the way to the back. Snag is going to need to go all the way to the back. So that if we put anything on top of it, it's not going to get hidden behind anything. So now I've got that there, and it's easily seen. So if I go ahead and run this, I've got my original message that says, after you're logged in, even though you're not going to be logged in, you'll already be in there. Please select the magnifying glass to view more information on the tabs, and we're also providing them with that additional note that says that there needs to be 5 tabs available as well. We could have technically included it up at the top, but I personally like to put like side notes and things like that into a different category where it's not like the most relevant thing that they need to know, but it's definitely something to keep into consideration. So at this
What about the 5 tabs?
Yeah, if it's something that's like if it's something that they can't continue on with their process without doing, I'd probably
No, they cannot.
All right.
No, they cannot.
Yeah, so then I'd probably put this in up at the top then, and we can do that here in a minute, just to make sure that
Okay.
I just
I
want.
got it. You don't need to move it.
Oh,
You don't need to move it. I understand what you're saying.
all right. So then we're prompting them to do something, so then the learner should be able to, or should want or need to select the magnifying glass. I put it on the wrong. I put the action on the wrong thing. That's why it's not working right. There we go. I put it on the image and not the right image because this lens does not make any sense to me, so I'm going to rename it. So if I get in here and I click my magnifying glass, it hid, but why isn't it showing?
Because you put the magnifying, huh.
Shouldn't matter. This is. Are you mad at me because of the layering?
Huh.
What are you mad at me about? There's nothing to be mad at me about. On mouse click of this image, show my step 2 group, and hide my original thing. That was supposed to go in there. These are all set to, maybe it's mad because they're initially hidden at this level. Let's try that. There we go. I'd also need to add an action. I didn't think I'm going to need to also hide my magnifying glass. So you'll find things as you're going through. So I can just add another action on here that says go ahead and hide this object, which is the magnifying glass, and then it'll go away. So here's the original message that we're showing them. We're going to dive deeper into tabs. So let's go ahead and get into here. Here's all of the tabs that are available. And then we can go even further. I need to remove or move my buttons because they were lined up with the original and not the new one. So I need to put these back where they need to go.
So we added action on the magnifying glass, and then then step 6 would be to put buttons, and those are under, where are the buttons located again? They're under properties? No.
The buttons are in inserts in the add navigation and interaction group. There's a button category.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure I want them to be able to push anything right now.
Okay.
I'd probably put another note. Well, I could. I mean, they could. They're just going to go look at the page anyway. I'd probably put a note on the My Folders that this folder will be blank in the beginning until something's been created. So you created a query.
If we're not to if we're not to the point of creating anything yet, then I'm gonna go ahead and just skip out of that. And instead, we could hide our directions 1 and show a directions 2.
Well, my question is on the buttons that we have now on these folders. When they click them, what do they go to?
Nothing until we set it up.
I see.
It could go to another page. It could show additional information on the screen. It could play a video.
Well, for this,
it's really up to you.
Well, no, we're going to go into them again. But for right now, they could just click just to see what's on the page. And then what I could say is My Folders, when it comes up, if you've not created a query beforehand, or if you've never created a query, then this page will be empty, or never created a report or anything like that.
Do you have a definition or a blurb for what each one of these tabs or folders is?
Yeah, I believe it's in my plan that I sent you. Let me open it up.
There you go. I found it. So we could leave the buttons on here and do something like showing an additional text block of information. So you could say, like have a thing that says public folder, colon. Your public folders is the items available to everyone with proper access. And we can differentiate this across from anything else in the course by adding like a background style to it and including it onto the page. And so if they clicked on public folders, they are going to show our new text block, which it's always a good idea to rename, which is called public folders. So at this point, they would get in and they would take the course. They'd be shown the information that says to please select the magnifying glass for more information. They got into it. Here's the information.
Oh, wait a minute. They were ready. That didn't look right.
No, this is not initially hidden. You need to make sure that you're working with your visibility items as you're going through and making sure that they're set up. Anything that you don't want to have on an original load of the page needs to be set to initially hidden. And that's
because you've got that on My Folders right now, so probably they wouldn't see it unless they were on My Folders.
No, it's set up so that it's only going to show unless they hit Did I put it on my folders? No, I
Uh-huh.
put it on public folders.
Yeah, but if you look at where the folder looks clicked, it's not really. It looks like it's clicking on the second folder. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, the screen.
Do I need to show an
Yeah.
image?
Yeah, the screenshot would need to change in between each folder if you wanted to show what each one of them was doing. So you would need to get an individual screenshot for public folders, my folders, ADSL, IG supporting. Yeah, yeah, good point. The reason why this isn't showing is
All right, for individual shots for each folder, I need to make icons. I need to make images.
yes. Yeah.
All right, that's on my list of things to do.
Yep, it's going to get to the point where pretty much anytime a screen changes, you're going to have to take a screen print. And the ones that were provided to you might not be as extensive as you need. So you might have to get back in and kind of take your own and everything. Just make,
Well, you saw that thing I took myself. I just took some random ones for you to see what I was talking about.
yeah, yep, yeah. So, and then you can repeat this process as many times as you want to, because then you can say, okay, instead of it being public folders, I have a new text block. I just copied and pasted the other one, and now I have my folders, and I can change this to say my folders, get in here, and copy and put that in, and you can include your little note that says that this will be empty at first. And then I would need to link up my folders, the button, to again show the my folders text block. The only other thing The only other thing that you're going to have to keep in mind is that you're going to have to take into consideration for crazy clickers. So if they click on public folders and then they go to my folder, what's going to happen to public folders? Is it still going to be visible, or do I want to hide it? What if they try and go back? Most of the time, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to include a show action on your button along with the hide actions for the other objects on the screen.
Right. I remember reading that or seeing something about that.
Yep, so for each and every
Yeah.
show, you're going to have to need a hide for all of the other ones. So my folders, the hide would be public folders. Public folders, the hide would be my folders. So that whatever is not needing to be seen on the screen. So now if I go ahead and run this, I'm presented with my original information. I hit my magnifying glass. We can technically change the instructions if we wanted to provide more of a logical explanation of what they need to do. But right now it says we know that we need to click on this. So I get my public folders, and then I can get my folders, and if I go back, I get public folders again, and so on and so forth. And it's up to you as to, how visually interesting you want these text blocks to appear. You need to keep them consistent for sure across your whole entire course or the style of development that you do. But this is technically on screen. You can also make it so these messages appear as pop-up windows if you wanted. Do you want me to show you the difference in between the two?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because maybe in some areas I could do the pop-up, like the icons up there.
I'm going to go ahead and
So
copy
that's it.
paste this page, and we're going to reuse the content just so I don't have to recreate it too much. But essentially, if you wanted to do the pop-ups, instead of creating these text blocks, what you would need to do is you would need to have a folder, typically at the bottom of your course, and it's going to be called something like pop-ups. And you could start including your information on each one of these pop-up pages. So this would be my folders, and then another page would be public folders.
Oh, you know what? That sounds easier to me than having to figure out each. That seems easy, even on the icon. See, I could do that for everything that needs to be looked at.
Yeah, and you could always
Be
come to the same one, even if the buttons keep appearing at the same place. You can just retell them that information. Typically, your pop-ups are going to be free of all of your template because it's going to include less information. So you can use the concept of inheritance to get up in here and say, I don't want anything to be shown, and I want it to be a blank page. And you can also reduce down the size as well, so you're not taking up the same amount of screen real estate. It's kind of up to you. And then this is where you would include your information. So if I grab this and I paste it here, here's my information about my folders. You know, maybe it doesn't have a background color. And then here's public folders. You would need to create each one of these and set it up however that you would like. And instead of the action being to show, instead what you're going to do is you're going to get in here and you're going to say, on mouse click, I want to display a page in pop-up. And I'm going to need to find my target, which it's going to look like your Title Explorer. And I can see that I have my folders is here. And then I can then do the same thing for this one as well. You don't have to worry about hiding the other objects because what'll happen is it'll pop up on the same screen and they would need to exit out of it. So if I went and I ran the pop-ups version of it, I'm still clicking in, but now if I get into public folders, here's my public folders message. My text block is initially hidden. That's why it's not showing anything. I can fix that in a minute. Here's my folders, and they can go through and complete as many of these as they need to. Let me fix this. And these wouldn't be initially hidden. They would be showing. So if I run...
Can you give me 1 minute? Can you give me 1 minute?
Yeah.
Thanks. Sorry about that. Thought I had enough to eat. Apparently I didn't. I'm going a little hypo. Getting a little juice.
So do you think you like the pop-up style better than the on-screens?
I have got so many of those to do. I don't know which is the easier route to go.
The pop-up windows are definitely going to be easier because then they're automatically prompted to exit out of the system with the exit button anyways. It's just a matter of, is that popping up all the time going to be an annoyance to the learner? So if you think that their tolerance for having that many pop-up windows appear is going to be pretty low, I would probably do...
You know what? I think we need to do the click on because it'll start layering on top of each other. Meaning, this is a pop-up. We pop up my folders. Then I'd have to show them on the screen where to go find this folder. Then they'd have to click on that. Then they have to go. Then it'll have to show them when it goes into the. After they've gone to the Query Studio, then they go into folders, find what they want. That comes up. Then they have to keep drilling down. I mean, it keeps drilling into it. You know how many pop-ups that'll be eventually?
Well, the pop-ups are going to be more or less information that you want to present that doesn't involve another step. It's an end to whatever you're trying to do. So, for example,
so that's what.
When we
I mean, I hear what you're saying. Is a lot of things popping up at them.
Yeah. Well, so the way that I usually use pop-ups is that if there's going to be one piece of information that they need to know, here it is. If you're talking more along the lines of they need to go down a rabbit hole, and if they click on public folders and then needs to take them somewhere in particular, you probably wouldn't. You would probably just keep continuing with this whole hide.
Well, I think I need them both. I think initially, right here, pop-ups are good because I don't want to get into this yet. I just want to go through it and say, hey, if you've got 5 folders here, great. If you don't, we got an issue. And I just want to tell them briefly what each of the 5 are.
Right.
Then what I want to do is go into the icons on the purple row. Then I want to go into the icons on the next row. And then I want to talk about some other icons. Then I want to take them on the purple row, one of those arrows down, we'll take them to Query Studio. And once we jump into Query Studio, it's going to get nasty.
Right.
But even that other arrow down that sets the My Preferences, all the my's, the 5 my's, some of those are kind of hairy. You've got my plan, you can see the things I got to talk about.
Right. Yeah, I would definitely do an initial, here's this part of the screen, here's this part of the screen. Okay, now that you've been introduced to the screen in general, let's take a look at why you would do this process or this sort of thing.
Let's take a closer look at these icons on this row. Or let's take a closer look now at the IBM Cognos. Or on that line, And also, if you look, my name is on that line. And I need to find a way to say their name, or this will be your nameplate.
Yeah, you can blur it out, or you can try and replace it with whatever would be closest to their name. That's going to get a little bit hairy.
I don't want to put their names on it. I just want to put a general. This is where your name will be.
Yeah, I would just point it out at the very beginning. Like if you get into
because there's a specific spot in my training where I have to mention that. Make sure it's your name there.
Right. And you could
do part of the thing.
You could do something like just bring attention to it briefly. There's nothing wrong with having a couple different things going on the screen as long as it's not too overwhelming or confusing, because this would technically be another note. And you could just say that your name will appear on the screen. And you're either going to want to blur this out, or you can have like test user as the name and just kind of fake the way that it appears so that it's not so apparent as to who is in the system. And do something like that if you wanted to.
Yeah, I don't know. Lieutenant John Smith. I mean, I don't know. See, I don't know how to address that. I just say your name will be here.
Yeah, I usually try and stay away from names and stuff because even John Smith, there's so many Smiths that you could technically get somebody at your company and they could be like, well, why'd you use me in the system? So your name.
That's why I say your name will be here. That's all I want to say in there.
Yeah.
So do I put like a text box over it, or?
Yeah, you could manipulate the image itself or you could include a text block. It's up to you on kind of what approach, but you could do like add something in here and put your name. You're gonna have to play around and try and find the way to match it to the system as far as like the font goes.
I mean, it could just be all white. It doesn't even have to. It doesn't even have to say anything. Just white out my name. So just so they know that something's going to be right there. Yeah, that's good enough.
Kind of match it in with the system. Oop, it's not on top. Darn layering. So you can have some.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and you'll just have to
Okay.
you'll just have to do it on each and every screenshot that you take. That includes that bar up there.
That's great. No, that's fine.
But yeah, that I usually will. You might be able to Google what kind of fonts used if you're really that worried, but as long as it's close, it should be fine.
No, it's big so that they see this is what I'm talking about. Your name will go right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they need to. That's all they need to know. And then Then I would go into the icon to the right of that.
So then we can have another page, and then this one would be the right. And instead of using this as the screenshot and saying that they are going to view more information on the tabs, they're going to view more information on the icons. Move our thing over to this. You want to do the purple bar next? Like up here?
Yeah.
And then this note would no longer be relevant, so you could remove that out.
You need to move the box needs to include that house. Make it a little bit bigger to the left. Yeah.
Kind of like it.
You can go up some. We just really want the purple area. But yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So then
That
again,
okay.
you can go ahead and grab this screenshot. You'd need to reduce it down to the proper size, which is going to be something like this. And then we can make this bigger and then do the same process again with the buttons and put them, here's home, here's launch. Your name's in the way right now, but it won't be because we can hide that later or whatever. But you would just repeat the same process again, as many times as you needed to get around the screen.
I see. Yeah, because so then I would go to each, like the home with the down arrow, Actually, I just say if you click on the home, you always come back to this screen, to your home, whatever I put in my notes there. And then the person is with all the my this and that. And then the launch takes you into the studios. And then the question mark is informational. But then I have to go into all the mine at this point, is what I would do. Or do I? I don't remember what I do at this point. I'd have to bring my plan up. We could at this point, but I don't know if they know enough to understand what we're going to do if we do it at this point. I don't know. I don't think there's a good way to do it. It's just like learning Lectora. You know, there's lots of little things here and there and nuances, and where none of it may be, it's overwhelming because there's so much. So many things you have to remember that you have to do, and you have to put everything in the right order, and you have to do this, and you need to style it, and you need to move it. And I can't believe he thinks it's just so easy. I could have gotten myself fired the other day. We may not have been talking today.
Yeah, that would have irritated me too. I understand completely.
Okay, so I guess what I need to see, are we out of time yet? No, good. I guess what I want to see is,
You want to do like a step-by-step where we drill them down into something, like maybe launch Cogno?
yeah, like on, let's work like on the my list. Let's do one of the big ones here. Here, let me open up my plan, and I'll see what I want to do here.
Yeah, just let me know what page you want to get into. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a chapter because this is going to involve page after page steps. And we said that it was going to be a good idea to put all of like our exercises into a chapter, and then each page is going to be the step. So that's where I'm going to start with.
Okay, I have my training plan up. Let's see. We've already gone through that. All right, on 2, it looks like on 2, I just briefly cover it. I don't go into details here. And I just briefly cover with the launch channels in it. So 2 is really just a quick, this is what this is what that is. And then when I go into module 3, then we get a little bit more start going into more stuff. That's the icons on the next row. So I guess module 4 is the one I'm talking about doing. That's the My Area options.
Okay, so we're going to get into my inbox and we're going to look at my watch items, and then we need to look at my preferences where we're going to need to look at the different things in the general tab.
Yeah, that's gonna be the hard one, my preferences.
All right, so
that's gonna be hard.
Find a snag. Pass rate. Actions. Nope. Trying to see if I can find. Okay. So save as my. So at this point, they are here, and we want them to get into the my section, which is the little guy up here. So you would include some type of description of what we're trying to accomplish. Let's see what I can grab off your training plan. So the My Area includes many options available to help enhance your experience with the program, select the, what is the icon name? The My icon, to learn more. So we can include some type of, base information, get them into the thing, but then we're going to need to drill them down into this particular area. We can do the same thing with the magnifying glass if we want to keep that process going. It's up to you.
Yeah, I think that would, yeah. Because that's what the first thing's going to be all about. First, we're going to show them the folders. Then I'm going to go through the different icons on the top. And every time I start to show a new thing, I want to use the magnifying glass. And then we'll do the pop-up.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I just think it's, this way they know exactly what area we're talking about.
So the magnifying glass is going to show the new picture, which is and it's going to hide the old picture, which is snag 1. We can get in here and test. My snag is not, this one is not initially hidden. So then I can get back into the system again. Clean slate, here's our stuff. When we click on it, I'm gonna need to hide the magnifying glass, but now we at least have all of these different items that they can click on. So we can go ahead and, let me see.
I don't know where that top thing came from. That must have been something I did. There's a black row up there that does not exist.
Oh, that's fine. Oh, I can't. It keeps hiding in between.
You can just leave it there for now, because when I come back in, I'll have a different picture anyway. I got to take a picture of each one of those. Highlight it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. So then at this point, what you can do is you can start launching them into other areas of the course. Like you could navigate them through the process of getting into their inbox. We need to do my prep.
Well, I don't think they're inbox.
Let's do this one for my.
The inbox is just query notification requests and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be that big a deal to show them initially.
Let's focus on my.
I think my preferences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The my preferences section is where you can choose different options to enhance your experience. I don't know. I'm pulling words out my butt. So if they wanted to get into my preferences, so to begin, navigate to the My Area drop down by selecting the My Area icon on the screen below. Are you still there?
Yeah, I just had it muted, so I wasn't breathing on you. You didn't want a heavy breather, did you?
Thought I lost you. All right. So to begin, navigate to the My area by selecting the My icon. So if they select this, they're actually going to get into a new page so that we could put this onto the following page, and that would open up the more options. So instead of this being a show or hide, it would actually be a go to. So once they've clicked this, go ahead and go to the next page or the next part of this chapter. So I didn't mean to do that. I meant to keep that. So if we do this, they get onto the screen to navigate. Okay, I need to click here. I can grab my icon. Now I'm on page 2. And I grabbed the wrong snag. It's not right. So we get in here, we need to start, we click on the icon. Why are you? Ugh, not initially hidden. Thank you. One more time.
I have a question. Now that you see what I'm doing and how much of it I have to do, how long do you think it would take me to do this whole project, knowing that I still don't know the end of my reports?
Oh, goodness me. This is a beat.
You haven't even seen the reports yet. Talk about getting really complicated. Those are going to be fun.
I would, in between the screenshots and the development necessary, you have the good majority of your content around, which is half the battle, usually. So that's good, where you have things you can easily copy and paste and you kind of know where all you're trying to go and stuff. As far as what you have left over, I would probably say that this is more on the complicated side, and the number that I was referencing the other day, what did I see? She had
What happened here? Calculator is what I want, because I want to see what you come up with is what I projected so far.
where is what's the stipulation?
I think actually I went back and increased this.
3 hours of that's 50%. Theoretical time. The low end of a level 2 by the Chapman study. This is definitely not a level 2. This is definitely a higher one. Let's do Chapman. Did she reference it? Brain research. Web-based, you are doing a interactive exercises, perform, try it, liberal use of multimedia. Yeah, this one's highly interactive though, and there's a lot of stuff that's going to need to be done, so I'd almost even push it into the advanced category. And that changes it from 127 to 217. And you said you had 217 times 8, 1,700 hours.
Okay, well, I told him I underestimate it because I don't even have everything in there yet. I gave him a little over, I think, 11 or 1,200 hours, but they're not going to give me that much time.
Yeah.
They're just not, and I just don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll do the best I can. I'll be calling you a lot. How do I do this? Why do I have to do that? Why is it doing this to me? All right, didn't mean to sidetrack this. I just want to. So you figured how many hours? 217 an hour?
Mm-hmm.
A module?
217 if it's highly interactive with simulations and serious game-based stuff or custom interactions, which you have a high level of simulation-based content because you have so many clicks going on throughout the system. So
Right.
it's almost like it's a higher level of learning in comparison to just here's information. They're asking you to do a lot more advanced development.
Well, just think how much I'm going to know by the time I'm done.
Definitely going to be a Lectora super user. That's for sure.
Well, okay then. Turn me into a super user. Then Lectora can hire me. I'm just kidding. I don't know that I want to do this as a career move, but hey, I'll be an expert. Turn me into an expert, or at least an advanced person. Okay, so here we're going to be doing pop-ups, right?
Well, if you want to keep going down into the information, you can keep drilling them down by taking them on to new pages or showing different information. So on the first page, we said something about to just even get into your preferences, you need to get into here. So you can continue the conversation out onto another page as well, and just be like, from the drop down, you can select my preferences to view the various options available, and then they'd be able to click in and select my preferences this time, and that would take them on to the next page. And I don't know what we have as far as snags for anything beyond that point. I don't think I have anything I can.
Yeah, you actually do have it. I'll tell you where it is. Let me open let's say here.
My folder.
My man, I can tell you which one it is. Mhm.
Folder. Function. It's home help.
Oh, I didn't copy it in here. Well, that was really dumb. Well, you kind of got a copy, actually. Doesn't look exactly like it should, though. Well, that's a part of the report. Well, gosh darn it, that would have been the right one to work on. I could probably ask someone to send me a snagget of that screen, but I don't want them to know what we're doing. Because I've shown, not that I haven't shown you anything that's, that's totally, I haven't shown you anything I think that I'd get in trouble, so you haven't seen any real data or numbers or anything like that, but I don't want them to know anyway. Oh gosh darn it, and there's no way for me to, I'd have to go into the office to get one of those screen prints. Let's see, what time is it? 2:16. Yeah, let me see. Alright, hold on a minute. I'm going to see if I can get someone to send me a snapshot. Hold on. Okay? Are you there?
Yeah, I had myself on mute and I was talking and I thought you could hear me. Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna just head out for a second and check my email real quick. So just let me know when you're ready to go again and I'll jump back into being here or whatnot.
So you want to disconnect for a minute?
Yeah, I'll keep everything running and stuff so you can keep going, but I'm gonna take this opportunity to just pop through my
Okay.
email and stuff.
Okay, sounds good.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Were you able to get one?
Are we home?
Hello.
Hi there. Finally figured out how to had to open it up to find the phone number to call. Couldn't figure out how to get back to you. Yeah, somebody's sending it to me. So hopefully it'll be here in a minute.
All right, cool.
So in the meantime, let me look at my plan. We could probably go back and look at my snippets. I guess we could do when we go into, I don't know if I'm really ready to go into that yet. The next thing down there under the MIs are the launch, which are the different Cognos centers. The only one I'm going to be concerned about with this training is the Query Studio. Originally, it was supposed to be Query Studio analysis and event. And I'm like, I can't do all those, even though the Query Studio I'm doing will have some report and some event in it, but not the whole rigmarole. But so I'm going to want to only show the launch to Query Studio in that drop down. And it takes you to that, if you go up, I think it's 3 entries up, you'll see one for the help. Then you'll see an entries at the bottom. That's something else it's under my preferences that we'll have to talk about. But that next one would be the next one on the Query Studio. In the upper left-hand corner, you see where it says Query Studio View or New.
Yeah.
On the icon. That would be the next one after kicking off the Query Studio. And then the next one is showing where the next one is showing the layout from the menu. After they click on that first one, that detailed student activity table, and then you can see under that where they're drilling down. So what I'm trying to figure out is how I want to show. If you, in my notes, I just give them a path, which I think I'm going to want to show on the screen, but there's also a way to show them the path on the screen. And that's by selecting that manage. Under the menu, there's insert data, then edit data, then change layout, then whatever, run. That last one is manage. I think by clicking on the manage, I can show them the, he calls it a bread trail, and we call it a bread trail, something different in Lectora. But it shows the trail of how you get to what piece of data you click on or that you're looking at. I don't think I took a snapshot of that. I'm going to have to really do an in-depth shot. I guess I didn't realize I would need to do that. I tried to get the basics. Let me see if I got my preferences yet. I do. I have it. Okay. He sent me, I don't know what all he sent me. Sent me the doc. Let me just save it all. Let's see, let's just do an all download. Okay. Okay. Oh, perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. Thank you. I'm going to email it to you now. I'm going to use my Yahoo account. Well, there's one loud thing in it. I think that's the only thing you sent me. Sent. Okay.
All right, I got it. So for page 1, we talked about my preferences and getting them into the my drop down. Page 2 was now they need to select the my preferences option. So then page 3 will be the preferences page. So we can go ahead and insert that image in.
Oh, where'd you go? Okay.
I'd have to figure out a way to make it so that this was
Ow. Oh, it hurt. Oh, that's what that was, that black thing. Okay.
I can't see it very well, but that would at least get them into the last spot where you.
Well, you can pull the right side in a little bit, can't you? Cut some of the right off, and then we can. No, maybe not. Oh, there it goes.
It's a little bit better. In some cases, when you're taking screenshots, like the next time you're in the office, you might have to play around with the percentages and stuff like that in order for it to show up correctly.
Yeah.
But on the
Yeah.
General tab, we have all of this information. So then we could go ahead and present all of this stuff.
So probably what I would want to do is put a, since we have 3 tabs, that's a lot of stuff.
Might have to chunk it out into two categories. Let's see. Let's look at everything.
Well, I have to do more than 2. That's a lot of black.
I don't want select. I want.
No. Yeah. I know we're just playing around just to put something in there, but.
You can chunk it up. That's not what I wanted. So here's the first couple ones.
Do I have that many typos in there? Or was that just the way it cut and pasted? I don't have anything red in here. I don't understand. Oh. Then see, I would probably highlight. Is that what you're doing? You're going to highlight the part we're talking about?
Stop it. So these are the first couple sections. Probably put some spaces in between here. And then you can always do like a click here to read more, and then it would bring up another one at the same location to explain more of it. It kind of depends on how you want to display the information. You could make this another clickable thing where wherever they click on, they'll get a pop-up. That's going to be a lot of pop-ups for the page, though.
I think it should just be page by page. They should have maybe a next, back, left and right underneath that box. To where they can page through, do you think, or not?
Yeah, I do something like that.
So you think the text should be on the left and the picture on the right?
It doesn't really matter.
And not vice versa?
I would just doing it that way because there's more screen real estate on that side of the screen with the little icons at the bottom and the page title. But you could do it the other way if you wanted to.
Uh-huh. I was just asking. I don't know.
And then you could have like a little here. like a little read more or something. Or you can do arrows, whichever one you wanted to. This is read more. 2 would be initially hidden, and read more. We need an action group, because if you have more than one action and you want a hyperlink, we only have one thing that we can attach to the hyperlink itself. So one of the things that I mentioned in the workbook earlier is you can come up into the group or insert section, and then there's a group option in the add more group. So if you have more than one thing that you want to have in together, you can do it up here. And in this case, it's going to be an action where I want to hide the first text block and show the second one. So now I can go ahead and apply a hyperlink to this. And it's going to be to run an action group, which is the group that's on the page. So if they got on here, they'd see the first page, and then you go ahead and tell them to read more, and here's the second page worth of content. That's one way of kind of showing that kind of information.
Did I get you back?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what happened. I still got charged in my phone. Not a heck of a lot, but I got some.
I don't know if you missed it or not, but I was just showing this style of development. If you have a lot of things that you need to talk about on one page, like the text block was really big, I busted it out into 2 of them, and I added a hyperlink for to read more, and it just swaps out the text blocks. So you'll be able to show more information on one page than what you might need to do otherwise.
Cool, but I probably need to get rid of. I don't know. It's a lot of bullet points.
It's a lot of stuff. You might even need to chunk it down even further. You could do settings, and then here's portal and regional options.
Now, what I could do is highlight each thing, since it's hard to read. If maybe I could do the magnifying glass over maybe the first thing, or the first and second, I don't know, and talk about a couple things at a time.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And then every time they hit read more, it would highlight a different place. I would want to connect the highlight with the text box. How do I do that?
Repeat that for me one more time.
How would I connect, like, again, going through the text boxes, if we were on the first text box and I put the magnifying glass, say, on the first item or two to highlight those, and then so the text box just talks about those 2 items. Then let's say they say read more, I would want the magnifying glass now to go over to the next couple. And, and if they go back, I don't know, I don't see a back button, but depending on what page they're on, it would highlight on the screen what it's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, you could definitely do that. You can move things around on the screen by using the move to action. So if we wanted to like start up at the top of the screen, show a little bit of information, and then read more would move them down further. The move to, what you need to do is you need to start at your location and figure out where you're at. You can see the X and Y coordinates of something by getting up into its position and size ribbon. And then I'd write down my X and Y, which is 600 by 142, so I knew where I started. And then you can kind of mouse it down or use your arrow keys, get into the next section, make a note. Now I'm in 600 by 225. So I need to know 600 by 225. And you could say that you want to have an action happen, whatever the trigger is that I want to move, which is in the objects category, your magnify glass. And then there's a little edit icon where you can enter in your X and Y. So mine was 600, somewhere around 224. And you can play around with effects and speed, but I just leave it as is for right now. So for example, if they did, let's see, if they chose, stop it. Right now, if they clicked on read, wait. I need, where did my magnifying glass go? Oh, it's underneath the screenshot, that's why. Okay. Delete. So if I go in here, I have my information, it's at this first coordinate, I tell them to read more, it moves, shows more information. I could show another read more, it moves, show more information. You can kind of repeat that process over and over again. You just have to, it gets a little complicated because the first read more is not the same actions as the second read more and the third read more, so you kind of got to start swapping them out. So you would need to have a read more in between 1 and 2, and then you'd need one in between 2 and 3, and you'd have to set it up so that it hid 1 at the beginning and then it showed 2, and then 2 would do its own set of actions.
Oh Lord.
Because it's
Oh my God.
it's not technically
Okay.
it's not technically the same thing. It's technically going to have to be something new. So your action would have to include hide the first one and then show the second one, and the second one shouldn't be loaded initially. And then you could tell read more to do 2 to do whatever you wanted it to. And keep going through.
Oh Lordy. Okay. You're recording this, right?
Yep.
Alright. I'm hoping I can open it.
I will send you the recording, and I will also export this file out. We've only got a couple more minutes left. So then you can go ahead and rewatch this if you need to and upload these files into the system. Play around.
Yeah, I'm gonna need
to. So I'm gonna call this ADSSM. I can't do anything about the recording until after I finish the call because it's gonna prompt me to like start encoding and whatnot. But I'll make sure.
I'll let you go.
I'll make sure to get that to you before I leave for the day or anything like that.
Okay. And yeah. And whatever you're going to send me the page, you're going to send me the package, right?
Yep, I'm doing that right now. You want it to your company or your Yahoo?
It send it to Yahoo. It doesn't really matter. I think Yahoo allows for a bigger file, and it's faster. Okay. Thank you, and I'll work on it tonight, and we'll see what I can come up with.
Alrighty.
All right. Thanks a bunch. Bye-bye.
Bye.